Specialist Components video, and today we're going to talk about our project car. Suitably named Shorty, because you'll see in a second, it's quite a short car. If you haven't picked a magazine up already, this will be featured in the coming issue of Mini Magazine, and you can read all tech specs, what I miss out in that video. So this is a little project car. We've got this as an already converted Shorty. It's a 1965 Mark 1. It was already converted. It had a terrible life as a clown circus car in the 80s. We got it as a derelict shell only in October last year, with the intention of creating something fun and showcasing our products for 2019, the 60 years of the Mini. So we fully restored the car, top to bottom first. It's all new metalwork. The bulkhead's original, half of the back is, half of this part is, but everything else, the floors, the back, the boot floor, front end completely is all brand new. We did it in-house to save time and get the job done. We've kept the ethos of the Mark 1 Mini, and it looks quite classic, it looks quite simple, but it's hiding a lot of features and a lot of technology, which sort of showcase what you guys can do with RECU. It showcases how you can have a lot of technology but keeping it simple. So if we start at the front, we'll do the engine first. We're renowned for our various A-series engines. This one has quite a fancy engine. So this is one of our TwinKam conversions, where you can get this kit from us in a kit form. We can do all the machining for you, we can build the engine. This one we've got the to town, and it's quite a basic specification. It's built tough and it's built simple. Simple as in we've kept everything clutter free, so it looks simple, but it wasn't easy to do. So it's a 1380cc, it has a stage 1 gas powered 16 valve LT cammed cylinder, it has our billet throttle bodies. The other funky thing with this car is, we'll change the subject, is everything that's orange is what we manufacture in-house or have manufactured for us, bespoke for us. So the throttle bodies are made for us by AT Power, and we anodise those orange to suit all of the orange parts on here, which are specialist components. So like I say, this engine's 1380cc, it's got our tough cranking, our con rods, forged pistons, etc. because we could, but it's running quite a basic spec. So it's about 130 horsepower, which is where they start, very usable, very daily driven. It's still running the Magic 1 gearbox, which has been converted by Guessworks to run a gear kit, straight cut drops. It's running our ECU system, bespoke wiring loom. Everything's been tucked, so it's utterly simple and very clean looking, which is how Mark 1 Mini is, which is what we try to keep the ethos of. So that's a basic rundown on the engine. Like I said, if you pause the video, you'll see all the orange parts and some of the parts which aren't, like the engine steady bar, are all designed and manufactured either in-house or for us. And it just gives that wow factor. When you open the bonnet, it just looks crazy. We have our own 3D printer, so we can design in 3D parts like the badges. The colours are grey. It's out of a chip chart, and we chose it because we needed a grey, which was going to go with black, which is the theme. Everything's powder coated black and anodised orange. So it really pops, it looks the part. It's got our wheels on, so these are 7x10s, aping things like the Migley and the Libra cars, which run all of our wheels. And again, so this is a classic wheel design, bright orange. It's got titanium coloured outers, which is quite a neat touch, so they're not polished, they are actually anodised. It has our anodised billet aluminium top suspension arms on, which are quite hard to see in the videos, but you'll see some pictures in the magazine. Going around to the back, we've got our billet hubs on here, classic wheels, and you can just see our billet trailing arms running coilovers under the back of the car. So one of the things we did with the Shorty was, Shorties are renowned for being quite difficult to sit in, and the seating positions are normally compromised. That was one thing we wouldn't stand for with this car. So we went all out to make sure the seating position is more comfortable than a standard Mini with seat brackets on to move the seat back. So there's actually 40 inches from the base of your back to the pedals in the car, which is a little bit more than you have with a Mini with seat brackets to move the seats back. So in theory, you could drive this thing every day in pure comfort. It's made for driving, even though you wouldn't want to drive it very fast because it's quite scary. So looking at the interior, it looks very simple. It looks very Mark 1, but it isn't. The dashboard is an AIM product. The box underneath the GPS speedo. So this is an AIM dashboard. Our ECU talks to this dashboard on CAN bus, so it communicates all the engine functions over a couple of wires rather than individual wires feeding all of the auxiliary features, which makes it really neat, really straightforward, really powerful, really easy to use. It's also got a keyless ignition system on it, which I would demonstrate for the keys. A keyless ignition system on, and this is the key here. So you touch this, you can put the ignition key wherever you like. It's a keyless start system, and then this incorporates with our wireless infrared controlled control panel. So start buttons are here, you have your indicators, you have your lights, you have a horn, and I don't know what this button does, but we dare not press it in case anything happens. And there's no wires, this talks to a sensor underneath the column, and it just keeps the simple nature of Mark 1. But you don't have any Lucas Electrics in here, you have modern solid state relays. The wiring's going to work, it's always going to work, and it has lots of features. Everything's programmable, so you can program the flashes, how long the delay is, everything trick on that car. And you can see why the Magic 1 gearbox worked, because the gear stick comes out, obviously under the bulkhead, gear stick comes to the right position. It has a later Mark 3 style handbrake, so the cockpit is very much how you'd have a standard Mark 1 cockpit. It works really well, very comfortable. The seats are custom aluminium seats with hidden fixing system on there. It took a long time to find the right seats with the right rake and the right width. These actually came from USA. The trimming, we chose the trim because we had the orange and grey and black theme going on with the car. And our friend Malcolm the trimmer, who used to do all of the trimming at Lotus, did the seats for us. He's a perfectionist, which suited what you want to do with the car. They look fantastic. And the orange just pops with everything else going on there. If you come around the back of the car, again it looks like a normal Mark 1. We've kept all of the features. If you go down a little bit lower, you'll see there's a cheeky titanium exhaust poking out from underneath the valance. And again, we did this to keep it all neat, keep everything hidden, and just to look super clean. In the boot we have a 20-litre fuel system, we have our fuel pump in here, fuel filter, a small gel race battery, a little custom cage that we put in to support everything and keep the back a bit more structurally safe. It has a flat flooring, which is why we can have the underflow exhaust, and it's just done to show, so we can show people it shows how the fuel system works. So we've got a pressure pump in here, fuel feeds the pump in the bottom, into a filter, into a regulator, return it locally, and it has one line up the car delivering the fuel. So when we take this car to shows, we can show you guys how to do a dead-ended single system really easily. And it's really efficient on state. So yeah, it's covering all of the things that we do in-house. It's great fun. The Mini's always about doing fun things, and we had the opportunity to rescue this poor little thing. And so far, it's put a smile on everyone's face. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.